Hi, today we are going to be discussing technological tools to help better the productivity of the classroom. My name is Brittany Roten.
And my name is Sunny Farron.
My name is Molly Green.
And my name is Felicia Winder.
Today, we are going to be discussing different types of tools: formative, content sharing, review and study tools, observational, and design tools. For my formative assessment in student response systems, I did ClassKick. Everyone can see my presentation?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
So this ClassKick was created by Andrew Rowland. More information can be located about Andrew Rowland on the About Us page at ClassKick. The purpose of ClassKick is to create assignments, download pre-made assignments, allow students to communicate with teachers in real time over the internet. ClassKick is very easy for teachers and students to use. However, I think that students will need more guidance on where to go to find the exact assignment. The possibilities of ClassKick are you could use it on a smartboard while doing the lesson so that the teacher can write directly on the slides. The teacher can use ClassKick to provide visual aids for the students, and the students can use ClassKick on their own using iPads or computers. Use ClassKick to provide visual aids for the students and slides. Applying the Sammer model. Substitution. Use an iPad or computer to work through problems about ratios in place of using a worksheet. Augmentation. Use ClassKick and Khan Academy to work through problems about ratios. Khan Academy has videos and step-by-step solutions to help the students. Modify. Instead of using iPads or computers, have students come to the smartboard to draw pictures that represent ratios. And redefine. Have students go to the smartboard and teach the class a lesson using ratios and pictures. My conclusion is ClassKick helps students to visualize the problem using pictures. It makes learning fun and exciting for the students. ClassKick helps teachers by providing pre-made assignments to guide the lesson. Some constraints are if there are technical difficulties then the lesson would be difficult to complete. If all the students want to write on the smartboard at the same time, most of the class will be waiting in line instead of working on the assignment. Content sharing. I did Newsla. So Newsla was created by Matthew Gross. More information can be found about him at the company page on Newsla's website. Newsla provides news articles for students and parents to use. Newsla checks for understanding after students read the articles by using multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and quizzes. Teachers can leave comments in the articles for students to respond to. Newsla delivers teachers students' progress, so how far they are through the article, how many times they've read the article. And Newsla will send students reminders for assignments when they are due. Newsla is easy to navigate and search for news articles. The website separates articles by subject. And there's even a tab for the articles that the teacher has assigned, so everything stays in one place. It can be integrated into the classroom by students can work on articles individually using computers. They can read the articles at their own pace and reread the articles as many times as they need to fully understand the topic. Applying the Sammer model, substitution. Instead of students reading newspapers or printed articles, students read articles on Newsla. Augmentation, students read articles on Newsla and answer questions at the end to check understanding. Modification, have students work in groups to design a play summarizing what they read on Newsla. Redefinition, have students act out an article they read on Newsla. And my conclusion is Newsla saves paper. The teacher no longer has to print out articles for the students to read. It allows students to move at their own pace. The quiz at the end checks for clarity and understanding. The only constraint I found is not every article is available on Newsla, so the teacher is limited to only the articles Newsla provides. Next, my review and study tools. I did Kahoot along with Sunny. Sunny will be addressing who created Kahoot and the purpose of Kahoot. Just for a little background knowledge though, Kahoot is a website where students can log in through iPads, cell phones, computers, and they take a test that the teacher has designed, or they can take a pre-made test. So substitution, instead of study games, students could play Kahoot individually, not as a competition to study for an upcoming test. Augmentation, students compete against one another using Kahoot. The student that scores the most points receives extra credit on the test. Modification, in groups, the students each design 5 test questions using Kahoot. Redefinition, the students take their tests using Kahoot. So my conclusion about Kahoot was it's a fun way to get students involved in learning. It's almost like a game. It can be used across many different devices, iPads, computers, cell phones. Students can play individually or in teams. One constraint I found when I was trying to play the game, I used it on my iPad, my cell phone, and my laptop, and every time we would get to the first question, it would freeze and kick us out. So if that happens in class, the students might be disappointed if they were looking forward to playing the game. They might be difficult to regroup. The next one I did was design tools. I did Adobe Spark. So Adobe Spark was created by Adobe Systems. For more information, you can visit the Adobe Spark blog. The purpose of Adobe Spark is that you can create social media posts and graphics, web stories, and animated videos. I found Adobe Spark a little harder to navigate and understand, especially from a student point of view. But I think with a little guidance, students will get the hang of it and be able to use it. It was fairly easy to design posters and presentations. So the possibilities are teachers can use Adobe Spark to create presentations to show the class, or students can use Adobe Spark in small groups to make posters, flyers, or pamphlets. The SAMR model is going to be addressed by Alicia later on. So my conclusion is that Adobe Spark should be used because the user has easy access to a lot of pictures. The user has the option to import their own custom pictures. The user can bring pictures to life using animation and sound. Some constraints are it may be difficult for students to use. It may take teachers a lot of class time to explain to students how the tool works. And then finally, my last one was Observational Tools Classcraft. So Classcraft was created by Devin Young, Lauren Young, and Sean Young. These are their faces right here. More information can be found about them and the rest of the team on the team page at Classcraft. That is the link. So using Classcraft, students can play in teams to make them accountable to each other. Students learn through the game and earn experience points for good behaviors. Students lose experience points by doing negative behaviors. And students also have a chance to receive positive rewards like extra credit and negative rewards, like turning in an assignment a day early. So Classcraft is kind of almost like World of Warcraft. It's an online video game where students create a character and they play through a mystical world. And instead of doing quests, they run around the world and answer questions. So Classcraft is very easy to use. Students, parents, and teachers can all use this tool and create custom characters to learn together. I did like that parents were able to create their own characters so they can watch how the students interact with each other. Teachers can have students play Classcraft to reinforce good behaviors and help students get rid of bad behaviors. Some bad behaviors that it gives negative experience points for are turning in assignments late, coming to class late, being disrespectful to other students. Positive behaviors, being respectful in class, raising your hand, showing up on time early, handing in assignments early. Those are all good behaviors that Classcraft helps reinforce. Classcraft allows students to play together in a fun and educational environment. The SAMR model for this will also be addressed by Alicia. So my conclusion is the tool should be used because the teacher can import the class roster using Google Classroom. The game promotes positive behavior. And the game holds students accountable for each other for negative behavior like disrespecting another student or coming late to class. Some constraints I found, though, were parents may not approve of the use of video games or magical creatures to teach their children. These are all of the websites that I referenced throughout my presentation. And that is everything. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I think we're good.
Yep. Next, I'm going to be presenting some different technological tools. I'm going to start with formative assessment tools. Can you guys see my screen?
I cannot.
No.
Okay. Give me 1 second. And now can you see my presentation?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, So Creative is a formative assessment tool. It was created in 2010 by Boston-based graduate school students. To find more information about the creator and how to use this tool, there are many online videos and reviews that discuss these topics. The purpose of the tool is it allows teachers to create simple quizzes that students can take quickly on their free time at home or on laptops or smartphones. This tool can also be used in the classroom as an assessment tool that can be taken on computers or tablets. Ease of understanding. This tool is very self-explanatory and does not take long to get used to the different controls. It is also very easy to navigate through the different aspects of the tools. Possibilities. Quizzes can be true or false, multiple choice, graded short answer, and allow open-ended responses. Activities can either be teacher-paced for use during the classroom discussion or student-paced for use of more traditional like end tickets or quizzes. There's also a gaming element, the space race. This feature sets up quizzes so that teams of students can compete against one another to launch rockets into space. Results can be displayed live in the classroom to evaluate discussion with students' identity kept anonymous. The aspect of this tool is a great way to use formative assessment to enrich student understanding. Applying the Samurai model. For substitution, you can use the tool in the computer lab for each student to take individual quizzes instead of having them answer questions on paper with a pencil. For Augment, have students as a group take short quizzes on topics discussed in the lesson on tablets instead of having them talk about what they learned. Doing this ensures that the conversation will be on topic since they have to agree as a group on one answer. Modify. Instead of having students take a quiz when they go home for homework, assign them to make a teacher account and make their own quizzes for topics discussed in the classroom. Then the next day, they can present their quizzes created on So Creative and have students answer the questions as a class. For Redefine, you can use the Space Race feature on So Creative. In this feature, the teacher sets up a quiz so that teams of students can compete against one another to launch rockets into space. The class can see who is winning the race live in the classroom. This feature on So Creative helps students engage in classroom discussion. Conclusions. For the reasons to use So Creative, it helps integrate technology in the classroom. The Space Race feature also helps get students more actively involved in their own learning, and the quizzes can be taken anywhere on any device that has internet access, making it easy for students to complete assignments outside of class, even with their busy schedules. Some constraints I found were if students are completing quizzes individually in the classroom setting and they finish at different times, the students who finish early may become a distraction. As a teacher, always plan students to have extra work so that everyone stays on task. And then there is a reference page to this presentation. Next, I'm going to be sharing a content sharing tool called Chizuto. Chizuto was created by Dr. Elaine Malasky. To find out more information about her and why she created Chizuto, go to the website and click on the About tab. The purpose of the tool, it is a search engine tool powered by artificial intelligence that helps find resources that are valued by education. Ease of use. On the How It Works tab on their short tutorial videos that show exactly how to utilize all the tools that Chizuto has to offer. Possibilities. To integrate this tool in the classroom, ask students to use this as their main search engine when looking for reliable resources. Applying the Samurai model. Substitution. Instead of having each student search the whole web for sources, have them use this site to help eliminate unreliable sources. Augment. Have students fill in their reading level when searching. On other search engines, this cannot be done, making it hard to cipher through all the content that would be too advanced for students or not challenging enough. For modification, have students search on Chizuto the reading level and a theme that they would like to write a paper on. For redefinition, have the student search on Chizuto search engine and select their reading level and a topic to write a paper. After writing their paper, go back to the sources used to help them write the paper and rate them and leave comments on why they did or didn't like the source. Having students provide feedback to professionals helps them feel empowered and confident, which will help them become more active in the learning process. Reasons to use Chizuto. It offers valuable resources in the library. The library on Chizuto has more than 200,000 educational resources selected by educators. Students and teachers can narrow results by reading levels and themes, and teachers can also choose to hide certain sites related to searches that students are searching. Some constraints that I don't like about Chizuto is after a few months, it does cost money, and this might cause a financial burden on students, parents, teachers, and school systems. And there's a link to Chizuto. Next, I'm going to be sharing a review and studies tool that is called Kahoot. I will be presenting the who and what, and Brittany already presented the Samurai model of this tool. So like I said before, Kahoot is a review and studies tool. It was founded by Jonah Brand, Jamie Brooker, and Martin Borowski created Kahoot in 2013. You can find more information about the creators right on the website under the About Us tab. The purpose of the tool is to help students review and study information and concepts in the classroom in a fun and interactive way. Ease of use. This tool is super easy to navigate through and can be linked to your smartboard and smartphones for easy control. The possibilities. You can use Kahoot in the classroom as a fun way to make students review for a test and interact with one another. Kahoot also makes learning fun by playing games and answering short questions. And Brittany already did the Samurai model. For the conclusion, the reasons the tool should be used is because it helps students get involved in their own learning by including teacher-made questions, diagrams, pictures, and videos. It helps students with social skills since it usually is used as a group activity where students answer the review questions on their own devices. And then on the smartboard, the number of students who have answered and got the question right is displayed, uniting the lesson and helping everyone get engaged in conversation. It also helps reinforce topics taught in the classroom in a fun and interactive way. Some restraints is for a classroom setting, you would have to have access to a tablet or smartphone for every student in the classroom. This is very costly and could also cause a financial burden. And there's a reference to Kahoot. Next, I'm going to be sharing an observational tool called Class Dojo, and Molly is going to present the who, what, and conclusion. So I'm just going to do the Samurai model on it. And like I said, Molly's going to go over like the who, what, and the conclusion. So for the Samurai model of Class Dojo, for substitution, instead of using email to contact parents about events happening in the classroom, with this tool, it is easy to send direct messages to parents. For augment, instead of posting up-and-coming events on a classroom calendar that students must check frequently, use Class Dojo to post announcements that both the students and parents will receive about due dates, field trips, and up-and-coming projects. For modification, instead of having to send pictures to the school newspaper of student activities and works, you could directly post it to your class account for all parents to see what the children are learning throughout each school day. And for redefine, it is possible to actually high five or give praise to every student that participates in the class discussion. With this app, you can make sure that each student knows that their participation is important and noticed with the digital high five option. And there's another reference page for how to get to Class Dojo. The last one I'm going to present is a design tool. It's called Canva. I'm going to be presenting the who, what, and conclusion, and Molly will be presenting the Samurai model for this one. So like I said before, Canva is a design tool. Melanie Parkins created Canva back in 2007. To find more information about how this design tool came to life from one young college student, go to our story tab on Canva's website. The purpose of the tool is to help make designing different documents easier. It helps with constructions of graphs and makes editing photos easy. Ease of use. This tool is pretty easy to use, and there are many tutorial videos right on their site. So if you need more clarification, you can just watch a video on how to like construct the different graphs or like different flyers or whatever you're trying to construct with the tool. Possibilities, the teacher could use this tool to aid student projects on making a flyer about certain countries where they're studying. Teachers could also use this tool to help make different graphs to display different data collected in the classroom. And like I said before, Molly's going to do the samurai model for this tool. And that's all the tools today. And next, Alicia is going to present.
All right. So my first tool that I will be presenting today is my formative assessment tool. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
As we're waiting for it to load, the tool, like I said, is my formative assessment tool. It's called Plickers. The tool was created by Nolan Amy in 2013, who was a former high school math teacher in Richmond, California. It was also developed by Jen Kim in 2014. On the creator and his team can be found on clickers.com/about, which I will also provide the link at the end of the presentation. The tool is used to create quizzes and to collect formative assessment data and quick checks for understanding of the concept that has been taught. The tool gives instant feedback and is very simple to use. It is a quick way for teachers to create quizzes, and also students can create quizzes for each other as well. Teachers can use the tool before, after, and during a lesson. The purpose of the tool is help them figure out the concept that needs to be gone over again. Applying the SAMR model for substitution, instead of getting the students problems that they have to solve handwritten, the teacher can use Plickers to see what the students understand. For augmentation, instead of getting students' worksheet, they can use Plickers to keep them interested as just another form. Vacation, we can organize the class into groups by ability and have the students solve the problems together so they can assist each other, instead of printing out individual activity worksheets. And for redefinition, the teacher could use Plickers to set up a game where the students are in groups and are racing against the timer instead of doing regular group discussion. It keeps them interested. So in conclusion, the tool should be used because the students are more interested about the subject and are more willing to learn. Instant feedback on results, and it also shows what concepts the students need more help on. So that it can only create quizzes like multiple choice and true or false. You're not able to have short answer questions. And the teacher may get dependent on this tool because it's so easy to use. That may not be a bad thing, but also you cannot just depend on one tool. It's a variety of things for the student. The next tool I'll be using is for content sharing, and it's called QR Stuff. It did not give specific info on who created it, but the website was created in late 2007. More information on this tool can be accessed by the link that I'll provide at the end of the slideshow. This tool generates QR codes in multiple ways. You're able to create different sizes and figures as the QR code, so it won't just be a jumble of figures. It could be one big picture if you want it to be. This tool is not the easiest to use, especially for the students, and the website is not very descriptive, so you have to pay close attention, and the teacher may have to provide more instructions for the students. The purpose of this site is for each student can get their own QR code and use it throughout the school year, so it can count them individually. It'll be easier to keep track of. So applying the SAMR model for substitution, and instead of having the students type in a website on the computer, you can give them a QR code to scan in. For augmentation, the student can use their personal QR codes to log in and do an online quiz instead of doing paper quizzes. For modification, you can give each student a shirt with a QR code on it. Then the student would have to find another student who has the same QR figure and get into pairs and create and complete the activity together instead of doing regular pair work. For redefinition, instead of doing a lecture lesson, have students do a scavenger hunt for a QR code. And each code has a concept to the lesson that has to be taught. So altogether, the lesson would be taught together. In conclusion, the tool should be used because it has no size limit. You can also print out 500 QR codes at once, just in case students lose one, they can replace it. It is also shareable in many ways, like email, you can share it through Google, your personal website. And also another thing is you can use any file type. So you can even use Word documents to share your QR code. Some constraints are the tool is a little expensive, free trial, and the website is very confusing. So you would have to reread things more than once to understand what the website is wanting to share with you. The next tool I will be have for you guys is a review and study tool called Quizzes. There was not any specific information about the creators, and you can find more info about the website on the reference page at the end of the slideshow. But Quizzes allows teachers to create quizzes or find quizzes that are made by other teachers, and you can edit them according to your class. With Quizzes, you can sign it as
Alicia, I don't mean to interrupt, but we can't see your presentation anymore.
Okay.
Now we can.
Now you can.
I can see it.
I don't see it, but okay.
I don't see it either. I do not.
Okay.
Okay, well now I don't see it.
Yeah, it says loading right now. I exited out of it, so
Okay.
I redo it. All right, can you see it now?
Yes.
So with quizzes, you can create it. You can use it to create homework assignments, and you can create games with it as well. It allows students to practice together too. It is easy to use, and all the students need is a 6-digit code to access the quiz. This tool is so that teachers can use the tool to create games and quizzes and to show how much the students understand, like many of the other tools. With applying the SAMR model for substitution, instead of giving students paper homework assignments, they can use quizzes as their homework assignments, and it's way easier to turn in and keep track of. Presentation, have the students go to quizzes to test their understanding after a lesson instead of doing a worksheet. For modification, the teacher can create a game so that the students can use what they have learned to play against other students instead of having a group discussion. And for redefinition, the teacher can create a game that teaches the concept instead of lecturing, which will be more entertaining for the kids. In conclusion, the tool should be used because it is free, so there's no need of worrying about how to pay for it. It is accessible for all devices, including cell phones and tablets, as long as there is a browser. And it allows students to learn at their own pace. So they can pause, they can rewind, they can do whatever they need to do so they can understand it. But one constraint is that each student has to have their own device, which could be costly for the parents and could be costly for the school system. Next, I will be doing the SAMR model for class. SAMR model for substitution. Instead of reading a story aloud to the class, the students can watch an animated story on ClassCraft. For augmentation, the students can read along with the story on their devices and get together with the partner to discuss the main ideas instead of reading a book in class and answering questions independently. For modification, have the students complete time questions and make it into a game to keep them engaged rather than a worksheet. And for substitution, you can create a competition between two classes using their avatars that are studying the same concept. It will be students. And I will also be doing the SAMR model for Adobe Spark. And with Adobe Spark, you can also create web stories to go with the pictures and the books that you. So for substitution, instead of a lecture, they can watch a video of you explaining the concept individually so the student has the ability to pause and rewind. For augmentation with Adobe Spark, the teacher can input images. So instead of reading a textbook, they can use the tool to cover the concept of the information in the textbook with visuals. Instead of giving a handwritten test, the teacher can use Adobe Spark and give the students images, and they would have to describe or explain the representation of the image as a test grade. And for redefinition, instead of doing the lesson in the classroom, you can have the students go home and watch the video of the lesson and answer a few questions. With the tool, it gives instant feedback so the teachers can see what they need to cover the next day. And here's all the references for each of the tools. Next will be Molly.
Okay, so I did my formative assessment on Mentimeter. Can everybody see my presentation?
Yes.
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 Okay. Who created Mentimeter? Mentimeter is produced and created by a team of professionals who all have different duties having to do with Mentimeter. For example, Johnny Warstrom is the chief executive officer and handles tweeting, while another team member, Joanne, is the vice president. There are 22 members on this team. To locate more information on these team members, go to the Mentimeter website and scroll to the bottom of the page. There is an About Us column that allows you to view the team and how Mentimeter came about. Mentimeter is a very simple and powerful tool that makes lectures or any presentation interesting. The presenter creates a question, and the audience will go to a specific URL on their phone, enter a specific code, and submit the answer. Mentimeter makes people think and reflect on the discussion. The audience, as an individual, is not affected by anyone in the room. This tool opens up a door for everyone to have a voice. It makes learning fun and effective. Applying the SAMR model. Substitution. Using a computer to generate questions rather than handing out a piece of paper. Augment. Using this tool as a way to take a quiz in the classroom. Modify. While taking the quiz, the answers are shown right away in front of the whole class so the teacher can see progress and regression. Redefine. After a topic is discussed, allow the students to take the quiz so that the answers are shown right away and the teacher can use it as a way to review. Conclusion. This tool should be used because Mentimeter provides a variety for students and gives them a break from staring at a sheet of paper. It allows children to review on a topic and what they got wrong. The tool is fun and interactive. They strive for presentations to be memorable. Constraints. Since students have their phones out, this might cause them to get off track or be more invested in other apps or activities on their phone. To see this website, just click on the link below. Next, I will be presenting my content sharing, and that would be Bridge URL. So it actually did not specify who created the website Bridge URL, but Bridge URL is a website that allows you to share multiple links at once with others. The website is very easy to use. At the homepage, there are places for a person to type in the title that they want the URLs to be integrated into. Then the person would simply type in or copy and paste the multiple URLs in another text box and press create. The URLs are automatically embedded into that title link. Applying the SAMR model. Substitute. Using a website to make the link for which a person will want to share. Augment. Using this link during a presentation. Modify. Using this link to view all the websites in one tab instead of switching back and forth between tabs. Redefine. During a lesson, the students would scroll through the websites in order that the teacher was going through so that they could easily follow along. Conclusion. This tool should be used because it makes sharing easier between multiple people, makes viewing documents simple and not as hard to locate, and it is very easy to use. Constraints. Some URLs do not work because the destination of the site sometimes blocks the display of the content. To view this website, you can click on the link below. Next, I will be finishing up Sunny's presentation of her design tool, Canva. So for this, I applied the SAMR model. For substitution, using an illustrative website on a computer rather than writing a response to a prompt. Augment, create a brochure of the story instead of paper. Instead of just a brochure, the students can make their own book cover for the story or book. Redefine, split into teams up to 10 members and have them make flyers for the book and hang them up in the class. And that's it for the SAMR model for Canva. And now my last presentation will be also finishing up Sunny's presentation of Class Dojo. So for Class Dojo, I did who created it, and it was created by Sam Chaudhary and Liam Don. Class Dojo is a technology-based classroom tool that is designed to help teachers improve classroom behavior and share information on student behavior with administrators and parents. Also, students have their own portfolios and can add photos and videos. Teachers can also give students points like a +1 for participation or even just getting the courage to answer a question. To conclude on Class Dojo, this tool should be used because it is encouraging and motivating for students because they can receive points and have their own voice. It engages parents and lets them monitor how their child is doing in school, or they can private message the teacher. 3, Class Dojo is diverse because you can translate it to any language, so it welcomes all families from different backgrounds. Constraints. It may regulate behavior over time, but there is no guarantee that the student's behavior will remain as such. It also might be a little hurtful for a child to see a minus point on their profile or for everyone else to see. And that is it for all my presentations. Does anyone have any questions about mine?
No, that was great.
Yep,
Thank
and I believe we are done today on technological tools.
All right.